Welcome, guys. Welcome to ChatTactic number 28, I think, is for this year. I've sort of missed out on about 4 in a row now. So we have the Steam Scream 4 sort of Halloween sale on at the moment. So I thought we might sort of start there and sort of work our way through the games. But just going through, there's a lot of games coming out in the next week or so. There's a lot of great games, actually. So and there's been some really cool games that have just come out this week as well. So there's a lot to talk about today. I'm not going to spend too much time going through the actual specials here. I'll just do a quick rundown and we'll sort of see what's there. I've already seen a couple of things I did want to talk about anyway. So, hi Shake, how you going? Saying hi Daz, hope you're doing well. I've still got a croaky throat. Actually, I did want to talk about this as well. It's something I wasn't sure what I was allowed to talk about with something that happened. and it was one of these things I wasn't sure what I'm allowed or not allowed to talk about. But anyway, I went to America like earlier in 3 weeks ago. And I was there for 1 week, and I was invited out there by Stardock to actually have a look at some of their upcoming games, and it was just awesome. God, it was a great week. I absolutely loved it, and loved actually sort of finally meeting the people at Stardock that I've been dealing with for literally decades. Like, it's been incredible. Like, just meeting Brad as well, and just sort of it's just the passion with everyone that works at that company is just incredible. I knew that they were. Here we go. Dave is saying, "Hi Daz, no Elemental Reforged stream." I will talk about Elemental. I'm just loving that game, but it was sort of fun. It was such a great time. Now there was they showed us 4 upcoming games, and at the time Elemental was one of those games. So it was great to be able to talk to the developers, and also to talk about the like just the upcoming games. And I've got to say, there's some, I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about, so I probably won't talk about games that I've seen there until they're close to coming out. But there's one in particular that is just mind-blowing, and I think, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it. But anyway, it was just an incredible experience. So thank you, Stardock, for that week. It was just a fantastic week. Absolutely loved it. It's funny, I can talk about the Elemental, what we did at Elemental. We didn't have enough time to really get into Elemental, so it's been fun sort of since I got back to be able to actually sort of really sink my teeth back into Elemental and sort of go from there. So we will talk about Elemental. But let's start off. So we've got... Shaker saying, we're certainly spoiled for choice. We are at the moment. There's so many games coming out, so many games. Grumpy saying, hey Daz, great to see you. Planning to hit the Elemental Reforged. You have been streaming soon. Looking forward to see what you call out today. Yes, a lot of games actually with some really interesting ones. So I've sort of got like a list in my head, and I really should write them down because there's a lot to talk about today. But we'll start with the Scream 4 Fest and sort of just work our way through a few of those, I think. But I won't spend too much time with this one through here. All right, and so I'm only streaming today just to YouTube, not to Twitch, because we have a giveaway. I'm going to be giving. I've got a key actually for Distant Worlds, which I had meant to give away some time ago, but I don't think. I'm pretty sure I didn't give it away. So I'll have that one as the giveaway for today. Yes, and Zephon had a new DLC today as well, which I didn't know about. I only found out about that literally before I started streaming. So I do have access to it though. So it's actually I went to have a look to see what I needed to do to get access to it, but it's part of the key that was given to me by Zephon. So, but I didn't know it was coming. So I do want to actually have a look at that at some point. So we'll talk about that. And Zephon is on special at the moment as well. So that is part of this Steam sale. In fact, that's when I started looking at the list of games. I thought, no, there's not that many there. And then Zephon did pop up in that list of games as like 30% off. Master of Command releases today. What do you think? Actually, I haven't played that since the very early days, and I want to. Actually, I'm going to talk to the devs about that one as well, because that's another game I would like to cover. I didn't know that one came out today, actually. So I sort of fell off the back of the development of that particular game, but I was aware that there was exciting things on the horizon with that one. So we'll have a look at that as well if we can. Let's get into it. So thanks, Winkerbuck. I'm probably actually mispronouncing your name. My apologies if that's the case. I'll just sort of skip through these big ones and just get down to the list. So what I've done is I've just chosen strategy games down through here. And I do like to mainly look at things that are over 50% that have come out. But like this is an interesting one. This one's only just released. This is Super Fantasy Kingdom. So 35% off for that one right now, which is actually good, like because it only came out like a week or so back. And that's a pretty fun game. Like it's I did just stream this one just to sort of show what it was like. And it's a game that is like it's not my type of game, to be honest, but I can appreciate that. Like it's a really cool little beer and pretzels type game where there's just like a development that goes there's a lot of gameplay in it anyway. But there's not a lot of procedural gameplay. So anyway, I would recommend that one at 35% off. I'd recommend it anyway, to be honest. I think it's a good game. I'll just go to the ones that I do know. Some of them are a bit old. Zephon, 30% off. There we are. So Zephon sort of released like a year ago, and there's been a couple of DLCs, a new one that came out today, which we'll probably have a bit of a look at. I had a quick look to see what the list was for that DLC. In fact, what I might do is just go and can I push it? Nope. Hang on. I'm just trying to get it so that I can actually then go and... Oh, there it is. No, that's there. So let's just have a quick look at Zephon. So Zephon has got an expanded bundle, and this is what I've got. So as the DLCs, or I must have this one here, I'm guessing. So the bundle information looks like there's a few more things on the way here, and so which is sort of what I expect with Zephon. So I do want to play this again. It's been a little while. So we've got the got Zephon. You've got Platinum in the Infinite, which just came out today. So this one is literally just arrived. Zephon is like essentially the next level up from Gladius. Gladius Relics of War is in my top 5 games of all time. I absolutely love that game. Zephon is not, actually, I've got to say, and I keep on thinking, why don't I have Zephon above Gladius? And it's because of the lore. And the Zephon has got better things in it. Like gameplay-wise, Zephon is better than Gladius by a long way. There's a lot of things you can do in Zephon that you can't do in Gladius. But it certainly is the successor to Gladius, but the actual lore isn't as engaging as the Warhammer lore. So, and I think that's why Gladius for me is still above Zephon, just in my own head. Even though I would love to see a Gladius 2, I would love it with the changes that they made to Zephon. Zephon, as I said before, is the better game. Maybe someone will mod the Warhammer units into Zephon. I don't know. I don't even know if you can actually do that one in through there. But anyway, so Zephon there, 30% off. A lot of the other things is 30% off as well. Just having a look at the various DLCs and things that have sort of come out. The Zephon Platinum and the Infinite. This is the one that's just come out today. So we'll have a quick look and see what that one's got. So this is, what does it add? And I'll just do this one really fast. On new leaders. So Platinum Sion, Money Can't, so we've got Cyber Affinity, the Sure Thing. Yeah, this is just what they do. So we have a new leader there, which is Cyber. We've got Infinite Count, who is Voice. Do we have a? It's funny, we don't actually have a whatever the human one is. The other human side. New units, Rangers, Jaeger. So human. Yeah. So you've got the human tier 3, human tier 4. Well, I'm guessing if you're getting different units. Let's see how many of these we get. We've got Voice tier 3, Voice tier 4, and again for Cyber tier 3 and 4. If you're not sure how the game works, there's 3 affinities: human, which is fighting for humanity; Voice, which is trying to befriend the aliens; and Cyber, which essentially is like an AI controlled faction, or sort of like leaning in towards AI. So we've got those, and then we do actually have an Akron as well. Akron Spawn Rider, large biological flyer that defies its enemies and bolsters the morale of its allies. So Akron, I don't think we can play as them. I'm pretty sure we can't. So I think it's just like a in the wild type unit. New operations, new items, new outposts, new quests as well, new mutators. Double experience gain, actually this is pretty cool. The mutators are a way you can just go and play the game. Anyway, I won't spend too much time with that one, but that's just come out today, the new DLC for Zephon. It's not on special. I'll just have a quick look and see if there's anything else. As soon as I saw Zephon was in that list, I thought, yeah, I'll talk about that. We'll just have a quick look at maybe just a couple of screens and see if there's anything else in here that really does fit the bill. Against the Storm, that's funny. It's actually not got. It's not off. It doesn't have any price. Like it's in the sale, but there's no sale for this one here. It's just in the list. That's weird. Wonder why that's in the list. Very, very good game though. Which brings me to another game, another Hooded Horse game, which is got a similar sort of bent, which is a city builder type bent, which is coming out very, very soon. In fact, I'm going to be allowed to play it in 3 or 4 days, and I'm not supposed to talk about it, but I will talk about it. I'll talk. I haven't played the early access I've got for it, but we'll talk about that. It's on my list of things to have a look at. I'm allowed to show the public side of things. So anyway, that's all coming. Anyway, let's not worry about too many more of those in that special. There's so many other things to talk about. I think we'll head off with Elemental. Just because that really has been the game I've been playing so much this week, or the last 2 weeks to be honest. Even before I was allowed to show it, I just couldn't stop playing it, and I still can't stop playing it. So Shake Vivid saying Gladius is great, but it's turn-based, very old, well-established franchise. Yes, sorry, I think is based on a very old and well-established. Yes, absolutely. Hi, Battle Mode. How you going? Perfect timing. Battle Mode is the resident expert for all things elemental. So it was funny actually. I was just saying to the guys before that about the trip to America, and I got to meet Battle Mode face to face for the first time. I should have brought my. We took some photos of us fighting in the streets of Ann Arbor. I should have led off with that one. That was fun. So we had a great old time. So it was really cool to catch up with Battle Mode and his better half, and it was just an awesome time. So it was actually really, really good fun, and it was fantastic to actually sort of meet Battle Mode face to face as well. So we spent a lot of time actually together. We did a lot of just looking around at different things. So no, it was good fun. Anyway, welcome Battle Mode. Saying yes, Dad spent most of his time winding me and the missus up. He had a great time. Well, I think we all had a great time. I hope. I got to the hotel before Battle Mode did, and I knew he was coming in, so I tried to word up the concierge staff there to actually to give them a hard time and pretend that they'd put them into this little back room, but they didn't actually do it. Anyway, it was good fun. We had a great old time there. Right. Anyway, let's get into Elemental and just talk about this. Like it's a game, as I said before, I just can't stop playing. I had so many misgivings about this game, even when I was in America, and playing it. I thought, oh, it's too much like the old game. Like it's just too much. Where it was. Where it just wasn't sort of, I didn't think they'd be different enough, but I'm finding the balance and the pacing of it is have really hit a sweet spot, I think, for me, and it's sort of one of those things where I think that's the reason I'm enjoying it just so much, and more so than what I did with Fallen Enchantress. And I thought with the older style game that I wouldn't really get into it. There was a post that's just come out recently, and I'm going to find that, because this is, I think, is a really good way to actually see what Elemental is all about. Now, it's not under the dev diaries, which they've been putting out a lot of dev diaries, but if you go to discussions and then actually have a look at the what's new, and this was actually put up just a couple of days ago, and I haven't even looked at this, but I did want to actually go and show this, because this was actually when I was in America, this is the thing I thought we need to see this if people are making decisions about what they what the changes are, what's different in Elemental Reforged, and how things sort of then do work. So let's just work our way through this list, I think, and just sort of go from there. So we've got the bits. So we've now got a 64-bit system for Elemental Reforged. So what we're looking at through here, just to sort of put this into context, is War of Magic was the original Elemental, which had a pretty disastrous launch. For me, I know that there's different things that people thought were the reasons for the failure of Elemental. And for me, the reason that I don't think Elemental worked is it tried to do too much. It for me, it achieved trying to do too much. Not that it didn't achieve that, which is actually some of the, talking to other people, they felt that it didn't achieve enough of what they thought it was going to be able to do. But I found it really, really unbalanced. And that was, for me, the problem, was that it was more about the mechanics that was happening rather than the gameplay. And so I was concerned with Elemental Reforged that would be more talking about the individual mechanics rather than the gameplay loop. And that's not a problem. In Elemental Reforged, the mechanics work very, very well within the gameplay loop. And so and by that I mean it's sort of like the mechanics support the way that you want to play the game. Whereas I found with the first one, back when it came out, there was too much you could do. It was too wild and too crazy. And there's been a lot of games over the years where, like I think of a lot of space games where it's all about how can you build the biggest fleet or how can you build the biggest ship, stuff like that, which is not really, I don't focus on that because all that means is you end up getting tied up in this sort of like in this abstract objective, which has nothing to do with actually winning the game or playing the game. So I sort of don't adhere to that. Anyway, War of Magic is the original Elemental. So it's all of the other games are 32-bit. It did have a really problematic launch. What happened at that point was that then Fallen Enchantress was then developed from Elemental. And this is actually where Cale or Derek Paxton is the developer now involved with Endless Legend 2, but Derek Paxton sort of came into Stardock at that point and started to try to fix up Elemental. And if you don't know Derek Paxton, or Cale is his sort of online handle, he did the Fall from Heaven mod for Civ 4, I think it was, which sort of changed Civ 4 into an incredible fantasy game. Really amazing mod. At the time was considered the best mod ever made. Until when I try to think of the best mod ever made, I always think of the was it Reformation? Is it for Warlock 2? Now that's one that goes in my head as to the whatever. Anyway, it's the that I think is now the best mod ever made in my head. I know that there'll be other people that will think other things. Maybe it's Rogue Tech from BattleTech. That was also an incredible mod. There's so many great mods, but really Derek actually was the one who actually really sort of, like at the time, Fall from Heaven was an incredibly big mod and completely changed Civ 4. The Renaissance mod, there we go. So thank you, Battle Mode. Yes. In my head, that now is the pinnacle, but Fall from Heaven really was the pinnacle back in the day. So anyway, history, Derek Paxton came in, restructured Elemental. Now, what actually happened was, so Brad from Stardock, actually at this point in time, realised that yes, the launch was problematic, and so anyone who had bought Elemental at that time could then go and get Fallen Enchantress for free, plus 2 DLCs. And I think there was a DLC after Fallen Enchantress before Legendary Heroes. So there was so you had a couple of DLCs, and then finally Legendary Heroes was Fallen Enchantress again. So this was actually sort of iterations of Elemental. But what Derek did, which was very, very clever, is he made limits to the wildness of Elemental. Elemental really was wild. And Fallen Enchantress created a lot of limits around the actual game itself and made the gameplay the main focus, which is why it was so successful. And then Legendary Heroes then just extended upon that. And so we ended up with a whole lot of different sort of heroes that sort of then did come back into the actual game itself. And then following that, there was Sorcerer King came out. And I didn't really like this title, to be honest. This was much more, you can see, well, this is Fantasy 4X Strategy RPG. So we had the role-play elements there. Then we had less role-play in Fallen Enchantress. And then Sorcerer King was much more about the role-play. So I would have put role-play, fantasy role-play would have been the way that I would have looked at that one. And it's also adventure. It was sort of more quest-driven. So I didn't really love Sorcerer King. I played it a little bit. I think I played it for like 10 hours or something. I forget what my timing for Fallen Enchantress was. That's hundreds and hundreds of hours playing that game. Elemental as well, I played a fair amount of. I was on the beta test for War of Magic, and so I've been familiar with this title well before its launch, and so it's sort of been a bit of a for me actually a like an important project, and it's an Elemental Reforged. What my fear was, I've got to say, is we end up with the untamed wildness of the first Elemental. At the expense of the balance of Fallen Enchantress legendary heroes, and then too much of the quest stuff from Sorcerer King. So in my head, I was thinking, oh, if it's that, I'm not going to like it. And it's not that. It's actually what they've done is I think they've really sort of gone to the core of Fallen Enchantress, is how I feel about it anyway. And they've added in all the things that will enhance that gameplay. So the gameplay is still absolutely number one in my head anyway. And so incredible what they've actually now done. So they've added in things, which we'll go through this list to see what they've actually added in to have a bit of a look at. And Sorcerer King does not overpower this as well. So we're not talking about a quest-driven Fallen Enchantress, which is not also. I also had fears about that, so I went in with an awful lot of trepidation about this game, and actually even when I only got to play it for half an hour when I was in America, and it wasn't enough time to really get a grip on what was actually happening. So I couldn't evaluate whether it was actually fulfilling on these promises or not. And to be honest, because it was the first time I'd played it for so long, it felt like the muscle memory of playing Fallen Enchantress came back. I didn't realise the changes that had actually come with the game itself. So it's only when I've got back and being able to actually sit down and play it for an extended period that I really, really enjoyed it. And so yeah, as I say, I just can't stop playing this game. Let's go through and just go through the list. Anyway, that's the history of these different columns. So multi-core optimization. The others didn't have it. And so this is actually from talking to Brad about it, like this is actually for him the big thing, because it stops so many of the limitations that they had back when they were actually developing all four of these games. I'll say all three because Fallen Enchantress Legendary Heroes for me is the same game. It ends up at Legendary Heroes. That's sort of where we end up. Graphics engine doesn't really matter that much. That's just modern in through here. Many languages doesn't really matter that much. Rich randomly generated fantasy worlds, they all had that. Yep, that's okay. And it's still where they ended up with Legendary Heroes for me was really quite nice with the world generation, and they've still got that one through there. It could be improved, I've got to say. That one could have a little bit of attention given to it now with the new version. And we're talking, this is early access, so we can actually ask for things now in this process and say, hey, wouldn't it be great if this happened or that happened? And so you can see there, we've got an idea thread, for example, where people are actually pumping their actually ideas during this early access phase, which is fantastic. Tactical battles, they all had that as well. Campaign, they basically all had that as well. Unit designer, they all had that. Tech progression tree is more of the changes I was hoping to sort of see through here. So I'm mainly looking at this column here to see where the differences actually are. So we had the technical progression. I think that's going to be chopping and changing a bit. I noticed that there was a few little extra things that were added to that one through there. Terraforming is now added to it. So we now have terraforming, which was part of the original Elemental. And for me was just crazy back at the time. It's much more limited now. I think you have to be an Earth Master or something, in terms of your ability to do different things, and I'm not sure what the cost is. I haven't played with that, but that was a fear of mine, was that terraforming was just going to be crazy. And I can't remember whether you can create your own choke points or how that will now work, but you seem to be able to sort of build your own bridges into different areas, things like that. So hopefully that will sort of be good, but I haven't tried that one just yet. The Essence system. This is strange. I remember this from Fallen Enchantress. I would have put a tick there and there, to be honest, with the Essence. Essence is what we've been using in the cities. I don't remember that from. I remember that more from Fallen Enchantress. I feel that that's not right. It's incorrect because there should be ticks there as well. I think for those map editor, of course, modding studio. The modding studio back in its day was really, really well. Like it was mind blowing actually what it did do. And actually, again, talking with the guys in the States about it, the modding, the whole code base underneath Elemental has been reworked and restructured to allow even better modding than before. So there is actually a lot of modding coming that people will be able to do within sort of more defined structures. For example, they're using the Lua system for a lot of the which gives them like an ability to actually program, and it allows modders the ability to actually get in the middle of programming more so than the it's not JavaScript. I forget what's JSON. They used to have just JSON as the way that you structured things. They still have that, I think. So there's still JSON structure, but Lua control. And if you're not into coding, it's not going to mean anything. But in this case, the addition of Lua into the code base, I don't know if it talks about that, but that is it's going to allow modders to go beyond where they ever were before with the game, which is actually fairly major. Custom civilizations, yep, so we've got that as well. Royal dynasties. Now, this is actually interesting. This was actually a really cool part of Elemental, and I was sort of hoping that it would lead off with dynasties. It's actually not in there yet, but it will be. And so I think this is actually going to be a key factor to the role play aspect of the game, which is sort of where you end up having hybrid heroes from sort of like the different dynasties, and there's the champion breeding as well. So you've got the dynasties and the breeding, and this was a really, really cool aspect. It's funny because I thought that was part of Fallen Enchantress. I didn't realize that was just an Elemental thing, but that for me I think is going to be when that does come into the system, and I'm guessing that they still haven't implemented that one yet. That's going to really change things up a lot and make it's really quite exciting, that one through there. Crafting is in the game. If you've been watching any of my live streams, you will have sort of seen that it's really now quite effective. That's a really, really good change. The thing I like about this is we're not seeing too many of the Sorcerer King things at this stage coming in, but we do see that one, and that's a really, really good addition from Sorcerer King into the base game. Steam Workshop, not there yet, I don't think. I've been looking for that because I think that would be good, so I don't think that that's there. And high resolution visuals. So this one is it's funny because Fallen Enchantress has also been updated over the time as well, so you can't really go back to the old version of Fallen Enchantress to sort of see what the old game really was like, because they have been improving Fallen Enchantress. If you've got Fallen Enchantress, you'll sort of see that the visuals certainly look presentable on modern computers, because they have been updating that game over the last few years. Quests. So we've got over 500 quests or points of interest, as opposed to 150 in Legendary Heroes, and there was about 300 in Elemental and Sorcerer King. I think what actually happened was with Sorcerer King, there was so much stuff that wasn't used in Fallen Enchantress from Elemental that Sorcerer King tried to take up a lot of the stuff that wasn't used when this was developed, and so I never warmed to Sorcerer King. Monster types, more than 250 monster types. I don't know what specifically that it actually is, but that's interesting as well. Story-driven campaign. I don't know what the 3 is. Yeah, because these have got like a story-driven campaign. I don't tend to play campaigns, so I really can't talk about that one. Global inventory. This is actually where I'm thinking you can just sort of share whatever you've got anywhere that you like. There's still a bit of a clunkiness about this because you can still do it, but you can't cycle between your heroes at this stage. So eventually they'll get the cycling in through there, and then enhanced quest support in through there as well. I'm not sure how that one then will work as well. So that's that's sort of essentially like I guess the making of Elemental with the different things that happen. But I've got to say I'm so impressed with the balance and the actual pacing. Absolutely loving it, and really can't stop playing it. Battle Mode saying, so the reason why Star Dark Soul games looks so good now, relatively speaking, is the tech that they used in the engine. It allows everything to scale up way before that was standard. There was so many different. Actually, that's a good point. Battle Mode, like the actual process that, like the innovations that Elemental had, and this is probably what was so disappointing for Stardock when they did launch Elemental and it just wasn't received well. This because it was so innovative. There were so many innovations that they actually put into the engine. I remember one of the troubles that they had with it was that they had already done. I think at that stage they had Galciv 2. I think was I'm pretty sure it was Galciv 2 that they'd built. And they thought that they'd be able to actually use that engine, the Gale Civ 2 engine, and introduce that into a map and use that as the basis for a fantasy game. And they've realised that they just couldn't, and so they had to sort of rebuild their engine from scratch, which meant that there was a lot of more innovation. Stardock is a very, very innovative company, like with what they do. The cloth map from from Elemental is the first time I think that anyone ever used that, and now everyone uses it. Every game, like Age of Wonders, everyone uses the cloth map. Pretty much. Actually, some games should use a cloth map, and I'm thinking of you, Gladius and Zephon. Yeah, those games do need a cloth map. That would be a cool addition if they took that one up. But now sort of everyone, even war games, tend to sort of now use the cloth map approach. I mean, Panzer Corps 2 does now and stuff like that. Which so many games now sort of use that approach. Battlemode's then sort of saying the issue with Elemental was the memory restrictions. Brad and the team had to deactivate over half the planned content, apparently. Yeah, so they're telling us that as well, which is sort of which was interesting and again scary because I don't want to. I would hate to see the bloat that came into Elemental. I still want the gameplay to control what gets added in. Thor Nellerman is then saying Elemental could really use more colours on the units. From a bit of a distance, they all appear dark brown and grey. Yeah, this is actually something that I had mentioned as well as some of my feedback. It feels drab. Even though when I looked at it again a bit more critically, I'm thinking, actually, no, it's not as drab as I thought it was. But you are right. It does have a drab feel about it. And whereas you compare that to Age of Wonders comes alive. The world comes alive with the colours. The units come alive. Everything sort of works incredibly well from a UX and user interface sort of so user experience, user interface perspective. So Age of Wonders 4 is for me, just such a beautiful, energising game to play. And Fallen Enchantress, I've got to say, the actual I was thinking that the actual world itself was too drab as well, but it's actually, I'm thinking that's okay, but the units, as you say, are, and they really are. But I'm saying we found a bug that was in the original game that had locked out 100 magic items from Fallen Enchantress. They're back in now. Oh, okay, well, there you go. I didn't know that. So see some people don't Age of Wonders because it's way too colourful and it looks like a mobile game. So you have to be aware that everyone likes different aesthetics. I don't know, I find that because I'm a graphic designer, I tend to look at the subconscious aspect of colours and things, and it's sort of, for me, it's one of those things where I find that some games are just really, really drab and dark and actually depressing to play, whereas I find Age of Wonders is the opposite. It's actually it's energizing to play, and I think Fallen Enchantress is sort of somewhere in the middle there. Like there's I'm thinking of games, for example, like the underworld area of what is it? The Master of Magic was just dark and dull and drab, and it didn't need to be that sort of that color. Anyway, I sort of find that some games are depressive to play, and some games are sort of, I guess, it's not the brightness. See, for me, I'm going to have to disagree with Ben here, saying that he says, some people don't like Age of Wonders because it's way too colourful. Now, I think some people he means himself, because Ben doesn't like. He doesn't like Age of Wonders. I actually think Age of Wonders really does an incredible job of not letting the colours get in the way of the information. So I think as a graphic design, a presentation, Age of Wonders just is almost perfect in the way that they actually handle that. It does. You don't lose sight of things. Like you don't miss things. So the interface still is number one. But it actually really does. The colours are just they're energising, which is really, really cool. So actually, Ben's saying now I like how Age of Wonders 4 looks. Yeah, I think it's just, and look, Age of Wonders 1 was the same, had the same sort of approach. It was even way back. It's still actually very cool. So Galaxy 4 does colouring and liveliness well. Yes, it does. Yes, yeah, that's another good game. Says Tenruve. Yeah, that's there we go. Thor and Element saying yeah, agree. It's So anyway, there was also questions whether this game competes with Age of Wonders 4. It's not. It's a different game. Age of Wonders 4. I wouldn't call Age of Wonders 4 a role play game, whereas I would call Elemental Reforged a role-play game. I think that the role-play aspect of Elemental Reforged, there is, for me, more connection with the characters than in Age of Wonders 4. I'm trying to sort of think of the differences. I've got to say that my favourite game of all time is Age of Wonders 4. So it's that's the absolute pinnacle of where that's sitting. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I do have access to the sort of like the really early build of what's coming in Age of Wonders, but my time this week has been really sort of I do plan on spending a lot more time playing Age of Wonders in the coming weeks. I'm allowed to show that in about 2 weeks' time, I think. So I've still got a couple of weeks with Age of Wonders before I'm allowed to sort of even talk. I really shouldn't talk about it, so I better shut up about that one. Anyway, looking forward to Age of Wonders 4, the new changes. In fact, we might even have a look at that as well at some point. But I thought I'd just go through these changes here. There is, if you've got the new Elemental Reforged, and it is 20% off at the moment, and it's something that I'm super impressed with it. There's a lot more in here. It's more than a remaster, like a lot more than just a remaster. And that was another fear of mine, was it was just going to be a graphical remastering that was going to be unbalanced, but it's not. It's actually very well put together. So I heartily do recommend Elemental Reforged. And I wasn't thinking I would say that, to be honest. I thought that my fears would actually win out, but it's actually but it's not. It's the opposite. I just can't stop playing it because the balance and the pacing is just so good. I think that some of you will disagree with that as well. Like I think that when I was streaming it, some people sort of thought that it was it slowed down too much in different places. I don't. I think for such a big strategy game, it does a great job of keeping the pacing up right from the very start, and they've actually worked on that as well. Chris is saying, "Oh, cool. Okay, I'll get it." Saying it's only £15 here in the UK. Yeah, there we go. So Tenra is saying, I'm not happy with the UI in Elemental. The feedback from it is lacking. Yeah, I agree. At the moment, it's substandard, and but that's the sort of stuff that will change, and that'll change over time. So there's a lot of problems currently with the user interface. So just be aware you are getting an early access game that is nowhere near finished. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. I've been giving a heap of feedback as well as I've been playing it, to the devs. I've sort of stopped while I've been doing the live streams because I forget to write things down. I forget what I've actually come up against, but I've given a lot of feedback, and they've fixed up some of those things already, but there's a lot of user interface problems at the moment. Plus the scaling needs improvement. Absolutely, yes, absolutely, agree 100%. So these are so. Eventually, I think it will be brilliant, but the user interface at the moment is certainly a work in progress, and it is early access. So, so Thor Gentleman saying, yes, why is the city screen split out into 2 screens? I'm not sure what you mean by that, sorry. Chris is saying, I've been enjoying Olden Era as well of late, the demo. And yes, that's actually going to be a big one as well. I'm not sure when that one releases. I don't have that in my list of games just yet of games I'm going to be sort of playing. I certainly had a look at the demo, played the demo, but haven't had a look at that one for some time. All right, let's get into another game. And as I remember games, I'll just go back and try to talk about things. I do want to talk about which one is it? My mind's going a bit blank. Another fantasy game. Let's have a quick look and see. Game I really enjoy, but I can't think of what it actually is. Come on, where are you? I'm not seeing it there. Should be up in it. Oh, there we go. Keeper RL. Keeper RL. This is I saw this morning and just thought, oh, that's hilarious. It's hilarious and scary in terms of what it's actually doing. So Keeper RL. We'll just go back into there. I'll just turn this off if it's going to start playing. No, it's not going to start playing. Okay, we'll just go to Community Hub and we'll go to News because it should be in here. I saw a snippet come up, and if it's what I think it is, this is it. This just, I thought, what? How are you getting away with this? So Keeper RL 1.3 Child Catcher update is here. So in the spirit of upcoming Halloween, Keeper RL is getting an update today. And I haven't read any of this. You'll see, this is what I just glanced at that, snatch and cook children. I thought, oh, that's just so funny. Anyway, it's not funny if it was real, but it's funny in a Halloween aspect. So anyway, we're getting straight out of the classic folk tales. She used her witchcraft to terrorize the peace-loving inhabitants of the world. So you have the Child Catcher it's Halloween update coming out right now, so you can transform yourself into like harpies and things like this, into witches, snatch and cook children. Oh, that just, I think it's so funny. Anyway, the witch is a solitary character living in a deep hut in the woods. She specialises in up to 4 witchcraft schools, so casting curses on her enemies, shapeshifting into beautiful, hideous forms, summoning wild creatures, animating items, furniture, and even walls to crush her foes. In addition, her favourite pastime is snatching children and cooking them in a cauldron. If you feel like this could be you, give the old hag a try. So note this update maintains save and mod compatibility. If you run into any issues loading, what is that one going to do? Yeah, anyway, that's pretty cool. That looks that is hilarious. So I hope I've got time to actually have a bit of a run of that one there. I just thought, when I saw that, I thought I've got to talk about that, even though I don't know at all about the witch. So the witch is a new character that's come in to the game. This is such a good game. If you haven't played, and I don't think it's on special at the moment, or is it? Oh, it is 50% off. Okay, this is a must buy. This is a must buy. So you've only got this week essentially to go and grab these Halloween specials. But this is, if you don't have Keeper RL, what a game. Like, this is an incredible game. This is like Dungeon Keeper, but roguelike. So the RL is roguelike. So it's a roguelike Dungeon Keeper where you've got so many different ways of playing. I don't know if we can sort of see things in through here. You end up building your dungeon. If you played the old Dungeon Keeper, this is so much better than Dungeon Keeper. This is the best Dungeon Keeper game by an absolute mile. Let me just open these up and just see if we can have a little bit of a look. So you've got the same sort of approach with most of the actual way that you do play these, where you sort of, you're building sort of like different areas to build up an army, to then go and sort of conquer an overworld, actually. So it does much more than Dungeon Keeper ever did. So this is an amazing game. At 50% off, this is a must buy. So guys, if you don't have it, you need to get it. Please make a Let's Play of Keeper RL. I have in the past a little bit, but I haven't done it for a while. And I think that this looks like a fun one to play. I'm just going to have to find time to do it. I've got so many games queued up at the moment, which I will talk about some of those as well coming up in the coming week. I would like to, actually. I would really like to. I think this would be such a fun thing to do. You can see you can play as good as well. Like these have got like farmers in this particular one. You've got donkeys and stuff. So you actually have good and evil. A bit like where Dungeon Keeper sort of ended up with the different modes of playing Dungeon Keeper. So you've got knights in here as well. So there's all sorts of different ways of actually playing the game. Not sure what this all is. I think that's lava, but I'm not sure how this is structured. You've got Cyclops, etc. for this particular one. This is the overworld, where you actually travel over the world to go and take on different enemies or friends. Like, you've got different things there. And so again, randomly generated. You can actually you can load in other people's games as well into your game to actually to then go and raid their dungeon that they've actually built. So you can actually have player factions in here that have got their own armies that were built up by people. So if you've got sort of friends that play the game, you can bring their dungeons in once they've sort of finished them. So when you finish their dungeon, you can actually decide to upload. Ulrich is saying, keep RL, is the learning curve steep, like Dwarf Fortress and such? No, not at all. It's actually very, very approachable. You sort of start off, it's really just a matter of digging through the rock, digging areas out, making rooms. It's really not, it's not difficult at all to pick up. There's some sweet spots, I guess, with the positioning of some of the equipment that you then need to do, but the game pushes you along. Actually, Battle Mode's then saying it's got a good tutorial and it's fairly easy to learn through just playing. Yeah, it really is. It's I think what's so engaging about it is the fact that you do get connected to different units, and when you go on the raids, you are using the forces that you've actually designed not designed so much, but that you've trained up. And so you go on these different raids, and then you can play you can either play in sort of like almost like a real time, almost like where things just happen really fast, which is too fast, or you can play turn-based. It's more of a turn-based game than not. But with the turn-based, particularly in combat, I like to really slow that down to be able to then sort of really plan the hits exactly as they're coming in. So you're looking for choke points, stuff like that. It's a really, really cool game in terms of the like the original Dungeon Keeper was a real-time game. This is more turn-based, so it's much more like a traditional roguelike in that sort of sense. Okay, so Thor Gentleman saying the best Dungeon Keeper game is War for the Overworld. So good. I didn't ever play that, but I would still argue this is better, even though I haven't played it. This is so good. Tenra is saying, have they worked on the resource sparsity in Keeper RL? Most Z levels have way too few resource pockets. That's the reason why I shelved my last playthrough. You've got like 250 levels, I think. I think there's so many levels. And so you can go down and you can now go up as well. Like you've actually got levels above. So I have not had a problem with the resources at all in Dungeon Keeper. It used to be just all on one level back when it first came out. But then they added Z levels, and you've got a lot of Z levels. And so the different Z levels as you go through with your own dungeon will unlock different monsters, different all sorts of stuff, even before you move away from your own dungeon. So you do actually you can go really, really deep. You tend to just sort of build on one or two levels, but you can have all sorts of things happening. You can actually have like a little fort that you wanted to build, for example, that you come up from underground into the middle of it, stuff like that. So there's a lot going on there. I haven't really had problems with the resources. I mean, because you've got the Z levels, you'll find that there's resources that specialise in certain things, and so that really isn't a problem. But I'm saying have that one. Didn't play a whole lot though. Is it good then? I didn't ever play that one. Saying there is a good few Dungeon Keeper inspired games, but I agree with Daz. The best one I've played so far is Keeper RL. Yeah, it's and that's rare for Battlemate and I to actually agree on anything. So it's sort of no. It's I've got to say it was so much fun actually meeting and spending time with Battlemate and his better half in the States. It was we had a great old time. It was really, really cool. Chenry is saying, I didn't get that far since I couldn't pass some fire golems. Oh, okay, we shouldn't have to. Probably around 20 levels, but those levels are very sparse. Yeah, you shouldn't need, you should be able to do a lot on the just in the first few levels, really. I've never had a problem with the resources, to be honest. I mean, they're balanced, so they do slow you down if you need, different, like if you need iron and stuff like that, you may be slowed down, but it's still there. So anyway, that is a must buy. This is a must buy, guys. If you don't actually have it, this is sort of an example of combat. This is like a fortress coming in and attacking dwarves. So these are like dwarves that are coming into. I think these are being attacked into an underground level. We can't see what the Z level is, I don't think. in this case, but they've got like ogres and stuff like that coming in. They've got warlocks fighting against the various dwarves that are coming in this other side. So that's sort of where things are happening in here. So this is all the loot then on the ground that the forces can then pick up and sort of arm themselves with. So you can see you're looking here at the Bagam the ogre, which is this one here that they control. For example, he's been wounded, he's vulnerable to magic attacks, and so it's got this. There's a lot of detail, but it really isn't difficult to play at all. The little question marks mean that there's some sort of entity in there. It could be good or bad, you don't know. So as you start to sort of dig through, in fact, this is on the up level of a raid. So they're in the middle of a raid here on the surface. They've possibly moved off to a different location to try to find these, like just clear out like a spot on the overworld, I would guess. Just looking at what we have through there. This is trap systems. You can build trap systems in the game as well. Very, very cool the way it does work. I tend to do these sorts of traps as well, where you've got rolling rocks that then come through and hit the different forces as they try to make it into your fortress. So I always allow for an area at the front. If you've got, this is just dirt here, and some creatures can dig through dirt, so be aware of that. This is rock over here, which is much harder for them to dig through. They can still do it, but it takes them a long, long time to do that. Here we got different biomes. This is ice, like you've got an ice river that's running through here with wolves. This is a raid going from so you've got your evil forces. There's your keeper coming in and attacking a group of knights with their treasure. There's treasure in this room here as well. This could be a player's area. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is another one where they're actually attacking with ghosts and things into a sort of like a Middle Eastern, with genies and stuff. So this is actually an attack going in where they've broken one of the doors, and now they've sort of opened stuff up where they can now go in and attack the group with their forces. And this is a group of, I think these are orcs, or are they just goblins? I'm not sure what they actually are, but they're attacking elves. So this is an elvish village in a forest. So there's just so much. This is so much more than what Dungeon Keeper ever was. Like it started off being very much just like Dungeon Keeper, but it's so much bigger and so much better. It's really an amazing, amazing game. Anyway, that's Keeper RL. You've now got the Child Snatcher Witch and Child Cooking Witch. I'm going to have to give that a go. That's really, really, that sounds so funny. I very rarely actually laugh out loud, and but that when I saw that cooking children, I just cracked up. Thought I've got to talk about that today. So anyway, it was that was actually one of the things I thought I've got to make sure I mention Keeper RL, and the fact it's 50% off at the moment as well. Really is a must buy. One of the best games really for what it does. And every time you play it, it's different. It's very, very cool. So now we've got the just skim through. Just see we go back through the list and just see if there's anything that's any questions for me, which there isn't. I don't think. I'm saying I need to get me back on a Meta Abuse podcast. And I enjoy talking about games with people, so that's always up for that. Well, if time allows. All right, so that game is. I did want to mention that one because I saw it there. Let's talk about a few of the other games coming up. So I'll just go through randomly with my list, and there's another big. Actually, I'll start at the top. Battle Plan. I'll be playing this one later this week. I've got a very, very advanced build of this. So this is a game that is, and I think this describes it best in here. I'm not allowed to show it yet. I'm not allowed to. I think I'm allowed to talk about it, but I'm not allowed to show it. I mean, this is what's actually here at the moment. This is a really innovative game, I've got to say. So Battle Plan is a historical World War II real-time strategy game of unparalleled realism and simulation. I think unparalleled is not right, but it's sort of it says a fight across massive battlefields created from real world geographic data, which it does. Create your army by customizing your order of battle and chain of command, which you can. That's not quite working properly just yet. Draw directly on the map to create elaborate plans. That's sort of the way it's been presented. If we have a bit of a read through. Take command of entire divisions and fight in some of the war's largest battles. Battle Plan is a unique real-time strategy game that simulates massive month-long battles with hundreds of thousands of troops second by second, day by day. And you give high-level orders, then watch your officers and companies carry them out autonomously. And so this is actually really what it's about. This is actually a game. The premise of this one, I don't know if I can show. I might just show the what you've actually got here, and because this is I'm allowed to show what's public, I'm guessing. So the way it works is, and I'll see if I can find the structure of what's actually happening through here. So you've actually got, in this case, that they're playing as blue against red, and so they're trying to make a breakthrough. And this is in 1944. This particular battle. I don't know if it'll tell us what the battle actually is. There's a lot going on the screen. I'll just talk about the basis of it though. And so they've got a force selected over through here, and the force has got like a group of orders to try to do different things to break through the enemy line. And so what they're doing is they're moving from the rear up to here, just behind the front line, and from there they're going to then do a breakthrough attack through the front line. And so you're in the job. Your job is like the commander. It's a real-time game where you can pause it. You can sort of change the time frame, anything that you want to sort of be doing with this one through here. But in this case, you sort of get like the grouping that you wanted to actually be dealing with, and you give them a string of orders, and it can be really, really intricate. And you do it once per day. So every day you can give orders to your units. If they still haven't fulfilled their orders from the previous day, they can continue on. But every day you get a chance to review the orders of all of your armies. You can actually end up with quite an intricate group of armies, or you can actually keep it fairly simple and just have a lot of them. I'll see if I can find like an example of the actual orders. Yeah, this is the orders. So this is the 4th Armoured, for example. 4th Armoured Corps. It's a bit unfortunate we can't sort of see that one. I don't know if I can see. Let's have a look and see if we can actually open image, a new tab. Is it going to be big enough? Yeah, it's big enough. Okay. So in this case, in fact, if I do F11, it can get even bigger. Right. So this is actually the this is typically what the screen looks like. Let me actually make it even bigger, and I'll do a screen grab here. There we go. So so in this case, this for me is this is really exciting. They've actually changed this a little bit into different structures now, into a way that you can then go and do it. So by choosing the actual core, I can split units off from the core if I'm wanting to, back in through here. But so we're talking about just the 4th Armoured Corps. So this one through here, they've already got an assemble order here at this point in time, and they're now trying to pick out the next order for them. So they're going to be moving across to this location, ready to attack through the actual front line. So you've got assemble, which is just move as quickly as you can. You can then try to seize ground, where you just like draw a circle around what you actually want to be trying to seize, and that could be like a high point on the map or something like that. Something you've got artillery barrage. If this one does have artillery, you can sort of see there the dot and the dot there as well. So you can actually start the process by using your artillery. So the way it sort of works, I should point out, if you're not used to seeing change of command or order of battle, you end up with sort of like a leader group going into 2 different divisions, I guess you'd call them, and from there you've got like different regiments, I think that they would be, with forces. In this case, these command regiments in here control 3 different tank units. This one here controls 3 different motorized infantry. So they're using NATO commands. And similarly back over through here, three armored, and then 3 of the motorized. Then you've got specialists. This is like a specialized artillery group, engineers and cavalry, So the same in through there as well. That's a different type of engineer, I think. I can't remember exactly what that NATO symbol is. So with all of these different things, the mix that you end up having will then give you things like the ability to do an artillery barrage. So from there, for example, you may decide to do an artillery barrage for like 2 hours and get ready. Then you've got like, you can either hold the line. This is defensive. This has now changed in the version that I've got. Like there's offensive, defensive. These also split out. Breakthrough attack is what we're seeing through here, where there's actually like a command to try to break out past the front line and break through. So in this case, you literally just draw a line where you want them to go. So you can follow roads or do whatever you want them to actually go through. You can lay minefields with your engineers. You've got defense in depth. What this one does is it sort of splits your units up. This is a defensive one where it will then fall back onto different positions. So there's like wet grounds in through here, which units don't fight very well on. The AI does a good job of actually picking where it wants to go. Move to contact, which just move up to, like if you've broken through, you don't know what's around you, you can just move to contact. Rest and refit, and back in through here as well. So again, if you're wanting to, if they've taken a bit of a beating, they can just go back and rest up. Tactical withdrawal, so you can start to sort of pull back away from front lines. Pinning attack, try to keep them pinned while another force does a breakthrough somewhere else. Permanent withdrawal, so moving away, like properly away from a location. Counter attacking if you do get attacked, and encircle. You can actually sort of have your forces sort of fan out and encircle the enemy forces. So there's a lot more as well, actually, to be honest. There's actually there's other ones where you can just tell the AI to do an attack and plan it itself, and it will actually then do it it'll string all these things together in a pretty cool way. You've got to be careful. So the units have also got their own abilities. I don't know if we can sort of see it down through there. They've got things like fortification levels, the actual troop levels themselves, like whether they're green or whatever they might be. It's actually it's very, very well done. It reminds me a little bit of advanced tactics gold in terms of the mix of forces, the way it sort of does work. But every single little unit that you see on the ground here is one of these type units, but they don't. It now shows in the game as little actual soldiers. I'm not sure if it actually sort of does them differently, but you can sort of tell. You can tell if it's infantry or armor or whatever it might be. It sort of looks better than what we're seeing here on the screen. Anyway, I'll just go back to the insert, and we will F11 that one back out. But it's it really interesting, and so I'll just go next. We've got a fair few of these again, just sort of getting ready for attacks. You can see that there's like fog of war, etc. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot that you can end up doing. It's a really interesting game. I can't wait to show it. So I'll be showing that in 2 days' time, actually. So I've got a scheduled live stream for that one. Looking forward to playing this. It's still a bit clunky, I've got to say. Like I do have some problems. Some areas of the game I'm avoiding going into simply because it's not working properly yet. I'm not sure when the game releases. Maybe we'll be able to see that one. These are all armor. These now show up as actual as little tanks in the game, but I'm not allowed to show it at this point in time. Just see if it's showing. This is what it looks like. Where you've got more like little soldiers, little tanks. So it's pretty chaotic. Excuse me. You do get, as you're fighting, you end up with a battle sort of which gives you the casualties and what's going on. If it's too difficult, you can actually stop. Once per day, you can give an order that countermands the current order. So if it's too difficult for them to break through an area that you thought was going to be lightly defended, you can actually stop the attack and withdraw. In fact, that one looks like it does have a withdrawal in through there. I'm thinking there's also night time where the units stop fighting. Again, more sort of attacks. This is now different. This is quite old, actually, looking at this that we have to have through here. You can see even the different types of vehicles sort of attacking the other different types of vehicles in through here with their... looks like a breakout attack that they're trying to sort of affect. But it's really interesting. And so this is actually the string of different missions you can then go and do. This has changed as well, to be honest, but this is sort of like the process that we actually have. Now this is so it says coming soon there. This is actually now part of what it actually is. So anyway, that's it's a very, very cool game. We'll have a bit of a look.
At Slytherin, we have always believed in games that
Just turn that one off. All right, so create elaborate plans. So again, all the units can be given different orders. So elaborate multi-step and multi-unit plans intuitively by drawing directly on the map. Employ varied tactics such as defence in depth, counter-attacks, planned withdrawals and more. Perform preparatory bombardments before large set-piece attacks, then split the division to capture multiple objectives. Realistic army. Each division is realistically modelled with headquarters, regiments, battalions and companies. Watch your infantry, tanks, engineers and anti-tank guns, artillery and scouts work together and perform tasks autonomously. There's orders, for example, like scout ahead, things like this. So you can actually really prepare stuff if you need to. So Tiger Russ is saying it's hard to find 4 without the clutter. Yeah, I know that, and a few of you have said that actually. Thistle said that as well. It's I haven't played Hearts of Iron in such a long time. I know that they've got battle plans. I think this is more intricate with what they do. You've got hire and fire officers for your divisions. Listen to their advice or don't. Keep your officers alive so they gain veterancy and quirks. Massive battlefields. Fight across thousands of kilometres, modelled in real-time data. Real-time missions. Yeah, the real-time aspect is not really... it's sort of like it's one of these things where the real time doesn't get in the way because you are the supreme commander. You really are just monitoring to see what your forces are doing and if you need to step in and stop them from attacking or something like that. But generally you're just letting them go ahead with whatever your plans happen to be. Master logistics, so starve the enemy by cutting off their supply lines. This is pretty cool the way this one works as well. So you can actually capture supply, you can stop supply, win the war, play 10 plus massive historical battles set in the campaign for the liberation of France. I hope that they add more and more to it over time. Like I would love to see other theatres done the same way. I'm assuming that they will. It's sort of a game that I think deserves to. It's clunky at the moment. Like I've got an early build of it, and I'm not sure when it says coming soon. So I've been told I'm allowed to talk about it. I'm allowed to show it, as I say, in 2 days' time. I'm allowed to then put up other content the day after that, which makes me think that it must be coming soon. There probably will be a date coming fairly soon in through there. To be honest, with what I've actually got, with the version I've got, there are certain things there that do need to be fixed up. So I'm not sure if they've already done those. I'll find out tomorrow probably before I do the live stream the day after. But anyway, it's a pretty cool game. I've got to say, I'm really I've been enjoying what it does. Like it does it very, very well. Okay, so where are we up to? Battle Mode saying battle plan screams mobile game for me. I don't think so. No, I really don't think so. It's much more. It's too involved for that. I mean, yes, you could use your finger to draw the plans and stuff. It's certainly very interactive in that sense. So I'm guessing that could be something that you mean. So we've got that one through there. So Tuna is saying, did you check out Escape from Duckworth? I did actually. I haven't got it, but I did actually have a look at it. I've got 3 games that were on my list, which we might have a look at as well, actually. Certainly Lasaria we'll have a look at, because that does look pretty interesting as well. So you really wish these war games had more creative names, says Battle Mode. As in, instead of Battle Plan, you want it to be called Battle Mode, do you? Anyway, it says... where are we? So Justin's saying July 25th, 1944 is the start of Operation Cobra. Oh, okay, yeah. There's different. There's all the different. The invasions of Normandy type stuff. And I purposely haven't played too much into the actual game itself because I think there's a lot to play. But I wanted to just have something a bit more controllable at the start when I do my live stream, just so it doesn't end up being too long. So Adrian's saying this doesn't look like a game. It looks like work. It's nicely done. It's how Hearts of Iron Fronts works. I think it's that but extended. I think not that I've played Hearts of Iron in such a long time. Hi Silvercall, how you going? Make for great tournament play, says Tiger Russ. Yes, I think you're right. And Gratian saying, what an amazing idea for a game this is. If it was fantasy and random maps, that'd be pretty cool, actually, to be able to do it. But it's even things like the height, the terrain, it all plays a role in the game. You've got to really think it through in very fine detail. So I'll be able to show this, as I said, in 2 days' time. It's I've got an actual start time, which is pretty early for me actually. So it's 1 a.m. for me. I've got to start playing it. I normally start trying to play games at around 2 or 3 a.m., but in this case it's a 1 a.m. start. So it's going to be I've got a specific sort of thing I need to do with the actual game itself. Have you checked out Warsight? I haven't, no. Let's talk about some of the other games that you guys have been talking about. So we've got I've got 3 games that were sort of mentioned to me. So we've got the what was it there? Escape from Duckov, which is a take on Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Duckov there. Getting 12% off at the moment. Overwhelmingly positive, back in through there, 95%, which actually looks fairly interesting. And so this essentially is a I don't know if I look at the trailer, is that going to show me? The thing I didn't like about this was the run and gun aspect, which it's like Zero Seavit has sort of got the same deal, but this one looks like it's more frantic, and I don't like frantic games. So you go from a strange to finding yourself in the world of Duckov, which I think is supposed to be like the Tarkov things, vast maps, random adventures. I might actually ask the devs to see if I can actually get a hold of this. It does look pretty cool. I've got to say, there's different aspects to it. It just looks too frantic for me. That's the one thing I'm concerned about with it. But it does look interesting. I mean, the fact that it's rated so highly does look good, but it looks like a bullet hell game. If you have a look at this here. If there's music, I'll just turn the music off. That looks good, like being able to sort of move through. But how much does it rely on reflexes? Doesn't look too bad. No, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's okay. That's just sort of like Zero Seavit, which I'm useless at. But it's so it doesn't look. There we go. Now it's looking frantic. It does look good though, actually, doesn't it? I'll have to try it out and see how we go. Yeah, okay. That was recommended, so that's only just come out as well. So I'll try and make contact with them. There was another game as well that was mentioned, which does look very, very good. So this is Lasaria, the Fantasy Kingdom Sim, which essentially is Majesty. I'll just ditch that one. So it's an RTS inspired by Majesty, where you guide heroes with indirect control, play through the campaign, or relax in sandbox mode where you build your magical kingdom. So essentially it's Majesty. I won't go through much more than that. I think even just saying that is probably enough for people to know if they're going to like it or not. It's 79%, which is probably lower than I thought it would be, to be honest, because it looks better balanced than Majesty. So it does look good. 20% off at the moment. So I might make contact with them as well. It does look like a nice game. In terms, so it's a bit like, well, in this case, you're really you're managing the kingdom and sending out heroes to then go and do the dirty work to go and clear out different locations. So it's sort of so you don't have direct control over what they end up doing. But yeah, that looks good as well. So I think that one will probably interest some of you. And there was another one as well, which was Glory to Goo, which is old, actually. I didn't realise how old this one was. As in last year and a half. I don't know about this one. This looks a bit like a poor man's Factorio, but it is overwhelmingly positive. Like, so the ratings are very, very high. So I don't know. So it was a sci-fi survival RTS set on an alien world, serves humanity's bulwark by establishing a colony and supporting your colonies still in orbit. Beware, for the relentless and shape-shifting force approaches from all sides, even above and below. Yeah. It's a bit like, I forget the name of the game. There was another sort of goo game which we had to sort of try to hold them back. But yeah, maybe. I don't know much about this one here as well. It's got roguelike elements, says Luke Sec. Okay, I'll might have a look at that one as well. Yeah, I've got not sure what's going on there. I've got a question there. Someone's got a question. Thor and Element's got a question for battle mode about regarding Elemental, about the predefined designs. I'm not sure about that one. Sorry, I can't answer that one myself. So I haven't looked into that one in any great depth. But they're 3 games that people have recommended to me over the last week. Another one that is coming out this week. I'm allowed to start to show it. I'm not allowed to show. I'm not even allowed to talk about it. But I haven't looked at the what I've got, so I'll just go and just see what's actually here. Whiskerwood, which is another one that's on the way. Does it have information? There we go. Release date 7th of November. I'm allowed to start showing this a week out. So, but I'm not allowed to actually talk about stuff that I can see. I've got the actual game now, but I haven't opened it up. So we can talk about what we can see in this particular one. In fact, what we might do is just go and open up this and just go back to the start. This is an interesting game. It's a bit like Anno meets what's it? Anno meets what? Just see if we can sort of get back there. So Whiskerwood. Play the demo now. So there is a demo there you can play. You've got like Z layers. You do actually have like the Anno's type sort of a arrangement where you then build up your city. You're essentially a group of mice that are building up a city under the sort of overlordship of cats, and the cats are, you've got to decide what you then end up doing. From what I can understand, the actual islands that you've got are random. And a bit like, I think, this is sort of like what I mean. Like you've got different starts, different types of islands. This is like the start island down in through here. But you do actually have all sorts of different things with different resources. So it's pretty cool in that sort of sense. And then you sort of build up, and you've got to manage your Z layers. You've got different resources you're going to be needing as well. So there's a whole lot of different stuff you need to sort of be aware of as you play the game. Harness the world, there we go. So they've now got farming going. They've got you've got to navigate the Z layers to get back down. You mark terrain for different things, dig them out, grow your colony. I don't think you can build underground. I don't think you can. I haven't played enough of it. Actually, it looks like you could. But back there, it looked like you could. That there looks like it goes underground, doesn't it? Maybe you can a little bit. I think if you could properly, you'd see it. Survive the seasons. Again, it's a city builder, but with an interesting, and serve your feline overlords. This is actually the interesting part. It's sort of, by not making it real world, they've been able to make something that is and they've done this very, very well with other games as well. This is Hooded Horse with their development teams and stuff. So Against the Storm, for example, does this really, really well, where they use sort of like anamorphic type animals to represent different things, and by doing it this way as well, it sort of means that there's a lot more that they can put into it. I think by having the feline overlords, and so the overlords give you directives as to what actually happens. You've then got to pay your taxes to them, and you've got to then so you're sort of like the original colonies in America, I guess, beholden to the British, and so the British would be like the cats, and the colonists would be the whisker ships, or the whiskers, the mice, and each mouse has its own abilities. They all do different sorts of things. And so you sort of build up like a big sort of, there we go, there's the overlord, the feline overlord. But it's a pretty good looking game. So I'll, in this sort of sense, it's coming to early access very, very soon. There is a demo there if you wanted to play the demo. So, but that's coming, planned release date now is coming, saying it's 9 days time. So I'll be able to play this, I think, in 3 or 4 days. I'm going to be able to then sort of show it. So I think by the time the weekend is here, I'm going to be able to, just before the weekend, I'll be able to start to sort of show this game as well. There's a lot to show, actually, a lot of different games to look at. So that's coming as well. So that's actually on the way. Age of Wonders 4. Let's have a look and see what I'm allowed to talk about with this one. Age of Wonders 4 there. And this is the... so they're starting to now show the new content. I won't talk about what they're showing there. We'll just go straight to the new DLC. Thrones of Blood. So this is actually Archon Prophecy. That's, for me, has been by far the best DLC. And the DLCs are great in this game. Thrones of Blood, coming on the 12th of November. Now, I'm not allowed to show this one and talk about this one really until the day before. Just looking at my list of things I'm allowed to do. So, but I do actually have it. And I've played a little bit of it. This one here is all about the... in fact, I think they've now released information that we can talk about. So, about this content. So, embrace the night and command legions of the damned in Age of Wonders 4, Thrones of Blood. So, rise as a powerful vampire ruler, build your dark empire in the shadows, and wield ancient blood magic to dominate the realms. Explore the sunless lands and rivers of blood flow. And one thing I've got to test, actually, is how this one does work, is if the sunless lands, if the Thrones of Blood rely on the sunless lands, or whether the sunless lands, I know it's actually just another additional biome that's actually come into the game, which is sort of more allowing for the vampiric forces. Contains a vampire ruler type, new tomes and wildlife units, and a new story realm that explores the origins of the elder vampires. So you're essentially playing as the vampires. What's interesting about this, and I think I talk about it, elder vampire. You've got to, I think I do talk about this one publicly. I should, rather than me just rattling off stuff that I know that I may not be able to talk about, I may just read it out and then talk about it, what we read. So, rule as the elder vampire, a sovereign of eternal night with powers unlike any other, unlock a unique skill tree of dark abilities and transform recruited heroes into vampire servants who share their earned experience with you. So, construct your vampire's castle, a replacement of the wizard. There we go. This is cool stuff. So we end up with instead of having a wizard's tower, we end up with a vampire castle with exclusive city structures and harness thralls as a vital resource to fuel your most devastating ritual spells. So this is quite a different sort of play style. So we end up with the Tome of Rights. These are new tomes. These go, I think, from Tome 1, I think it's 1, 2, and 4, I think. A Tome of Torment and then Tome of the Crimson Rain. So, for example, you can then sort of make embrace the ancient form of the undeath. So you can sort of get them to be like you're forced to become more vampiric. So they're sort of undead, but in a vampiric sort of sense. So it's not like necromancers, which is again quite interesting. New narrative content. So unravel the mysteries of Lost Soul quest. So this is actually a playable quest. New story realm in through there as well. New world map content. Embark on a journey through sunless lands, a land of darkness and roses, and face your enemies on new combat maps. Harness the power of new magical materials, blood glass, blah blah blah. Test your strength here, blah blah blah. And that's the more the vampire type homes and stuff, which is a bit different. New wildlife, so you've got like blood maggots, doom bats. Doom bats is cool. Actually, I sort of quite like the idea of those. And then we've got new content, so new interface skin, new music tracks, new banner icons, new realm template, and new traits. So there'll be I'll be doing another live stream, as in a series of this when I'm allowed to start to show this one, which will be the day before release. So look out for that. That's coming in a couple of weeks' time. So I won't talk too much about it now, but that's on its way. So about 2 weeks' time, and I'll be able to play that one literally the day before. So that will be the start of when I'm allowed to sort of show things. The way it works as well with this, you can see even with the actual graphics from here, you really do end up with like a Nosferatu style of play with the vampires. But there's also like the more modern sort of take on it with I forget what that movie franchise was and the book franchise. I can't think of it. I can't even think of the actors that were in it. But anyway, it's sort of like where they're more sort of like more beautiful, I guess. And you can sort of see there the sort of style of different types of vampires that you end up having. That's more of the Nosferatu style. The other one that's sort of in there as well. And they do play, you can sort of play different styles with those as well. So there's a bit to look at with this DLC as well. I don't know if it'll be as good as the Archon DLC. I don't think anything really, like that was such an exceptional DLC, but we'll see what actually happens with this one. So I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to being able to show that one properly. So I'll probably start playing this one just privately, like a week out, just so I really get used to it. I've been playing it a little bit, and enjoying what I've seen through there so far, but I haven't played much of it. Anyway, that's coming, so that's actually on its way. Other things that are on their way, a big one which is coming out in about a week's time, is the new Europa Universalis. Europa Universalis 5 is on the way. So this one here, I've got this one. I've played it a little bit, but not very much. This one starts earlier, so. In fact, there's nothing else to sort of see through there. So use war trade or diplomacy to satisfy your grandest ambitions and dominate 5 centuries of history in the newest version of Europa Universalis. I don't think that Europa Universalis 4 started too far before the 1400s. This one starts in the 1300s, so it's pretty cool. I'm allowed to show this one in about it unlocks in 7 days. In about 5 days, I'm going to be able to show this one as well. So and I will be doing that as well, I think, because again, I know that this is a bit of a favourite with people, and this particular game, I haven't really covered much of it. It's funny because I've had the Europa Universalis games ever since the first one came out. I remember where I was when I bought Europa Universalis 1, and I was actually in Melbourne, which is a long way away from where I live here, and I was on holidays, and I saw it and thought, oh, that looks really interesting. So I actually bought it when it was first coming out. One of these sort of game shop type things, like EB Games or whatever, and it was I just loved it. And what I loved about it was back in those early games, and they haven't done it since 2, I think, Europa Universalis 2, was that you could actually start at any time in the timeline, and it would be able to play the game from different dates. You can actually just run it forward to an exact date and play as a country from that date. I wish that they would bring that one back, because it was so interesting to actually look at history, because it would actually sort of track history in a loose way. I'm guessing it's so much more detailed now than what it used to be, but I really enjoyed that aspect. I used to just do that rather than even play the game, just sort of look at the world at different times in history. It was just amazing. But they stopped doing that. I think in 3 they stopped doing that sort of start, and then just had the actual pre-built starts, just because it was so much more detailed at this point in time. I won't talk much about it, but that will be coming fairly soon. So there's a lot to do. You do actually have your starts, which are now earlier than what they were before. So you do start in the late medieval period before you then sort of go and start to do the exploration of the actual world itself. But yeah, cool game. So that's on its way. So again, no user reviews, of course, yet, but it is coming. So look forward to that one as well. Let's see if there's any other questions for me. If you do want to grab my attention, just do an @ChatTactic. So Luke's saying this game reminds me of Timberborn. That's Whiskerwood, I think you're talking about. So anyway, we've got, I'll just keep on going through. Actually, I'm running out of time. How long have I been streaming for? An hour and a half. I think we better start to do the giveaway. I feel like that's something else I was going to talk about. I've got the games that I've got under, that I haven't been able to talk about. Actually, there is a game that I was trying to play this week, actually, but I had troubles with it. It was kept on crashing. So actually, maybe I will talk about it, actually. It's Stellar Reach. I haven't really had a good look to see how it's been received. So Stellar Reach has just come out. It's 10% off at the moment, and it was crashing my computer. But I actually really like the devs are really responsive, or the dev. I think it's just like an indie dev, like somebody who has sort of been involved in the gaming industry for a long period of time, but this is like his first game. Sort of going out on his own. This is actually one thing I was really impressed with this game was just the scope of time. Like it actually plays when you either play it real time, as in 1 second is 1 second, or you play it 3 months per second. Like it's sort of like one of the two, because the actual time frames are can be in thousands of years to do things. So it's sort of much more. It's like. It's like it's like full it's sort of not like a more realistic sort of approach to space exploration and combat, meaning that things take an enormous amount of time, like lifetimes, to play out certain things. I can't see if I can show any of the screens. Let's have a look and see this one here. You can't really tell with that one. If I just go and open this tab up in a new one, we can see a little bit through there. Just see if I can sort of zoom in a little bit. So this is actually, this is showing, this is all fairly recent in terms of what it's doing. So this is what's upcoming. In this one, they've been playing for 116 years at this point in time. They've got a cruiser arriving somewhere in 3 minutes. 3 months, sorry, 3 months there. A scan is going to be completed in 3 months, 7 days. 3 months, 11 days for a fleet arrival. Quantum supercomputers are going to be developed in 11 months. This one here is 2 years. But to go to like another system can take 32,000 years, stuff like that. So it's sort of more, the interesting scope about this game is that it's humanity is really just controlling, in terms of governing, but all the work is done through machines. So machines can sort of last those extremely long time periods that are required. I don't know if there's, if we can see the other sorts of, this is sort of like, combat is really, really basic in this game at this stage. I don't know if it'll be improved. But it's sort of early days. It's there is a demo for it as well. But I thought I'd mention it because I was really blown away by the approach. It's quite different, just in terms of the actual, it's like most space games sort of play out in relatively short periods of time, as if you're playing a character. Whereas in this case, you are playing beyond that, almost like a supercomputer, just sort of helping to guide your faction. And it's all just humans, the different types of humans that are with different play styles, are the different groups you actually have through there. So I thought I'd mention that one as well. As I said, I had problems playing the game, and I don't want to play it again until I know that those problems aren't going to come back. It was for me, it was a pretty horrific crash that I had with the game. That was because of my AMD drivers. But they have. I know that the devs told me that they have fixed that up. But I want to be 100% before I loaded it back in. It was, as I said before, it was really quite a dramatic crash when it did actually crash. So anyway, that's just come out as well. Actually, there we go. I've got a few more. So it's 73%, which is about what I'd expect it to be. So I think that's a sort of like a fair assessment of the actual game itself. But the real scale, real time is really interesting in this game, and the planets do orbit, which is probably not necessary, but it's sort of it does work. I know people were disappointed with Distant Worlds that that one didn't have the orbiting planets, but I don't mind that they don't. So. Anyway, so we'll just keep on going. So Cecil's saying, I do not really have a lifetime to play one game. Yeah. So Tiger Russ is saying DLC count for 5. I'm not sure what that was written in regard to. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, let's do the giveaway because we are running right out of time now. So I will go in and open up Nightbot, and hopefully it's all going to then work. Okay, we've got the giveaways, and we'll go to keyword, go to next, and next, and the word win. So we'll just click on done. So guys, if you want to type the word win into the chat, I will just get everything else set up, and the giveaway for today is Distant Worlds 2. So I've got a key for Distant Worlds 2. And what I'll do, whoever wins, if you can then just email me, I'll give you the email at the end of this, just so that you can actually then contact me. It's a shame that YouTube doesn't have the same degree of interaction that Twitch has. Twitch is very, very good at this. Anyway, let's put that one down. We'll get Marbles on Stream loaded up. So type win in, guys. Type win. Even if you don't want if you've got a game and you're thinking, okay, I've got it, so I won't put my name down. Put your name down. You don't have to accept the game. You can always just say, hey, keep it for another time. That way I can sort of, I don't run out of games. So I much prefer that. I'm just going to continue. Yeah, so I'll wait until we've got the different groups. I do need to go back in and get where is it? The names, Sublime Text is back over here. Just get rid of all of those. All right, so I'll give you a couple of more seconds to get your names in, and then we'll do the run. It's going to be a Grand Prix as per usual. What else are we up to? We've got the marbles. Just come back into here. All right, we've only got 19 players at this stage, so 20 now. So I'll give you a couple more seconds. So Goratian is the last in the list there. I think I'll start now, actually. So we will go and copy eligible entries. Okay, we've got them all copied. I'll now go and place them in here. They've changed the structure. What a pain in the ass. Actually, we've got another one now. So the Drunken Koala. I'll come back to you in a minute, Drunken Koala. And I've just got to go. I've just got to go and rejig all this stuff. Find, replace. I do actually have like a command. I'm now going to have to get rid of this @ symbol. So I'll replace all, and I'll just manually go and get rid of these. So change the structure, which is a pain in the bum. I'll have to build another expression to capture that now as well. And then I'll just bring in the new names. So the Drunken Koala, I'll just copy that one. All right, and there we go. So we've got 21. Okay, I'll save that and move that one across, minimize that one down. And Lucas has added himself in as well. All right, so we'll say 22 now. So I'll just go in. We'll close it off soon when I've got this one set. So we'll just go back to race. Add names. Clear. Open. And the last one there was Lucas. So we'll just go and add a new one. Lucas 8373. There we are. Okay, just make sure that we didn't have you before. I don't think we did. Nope, that's all okay. So we've got 22. Finish that one. I've got to then change the numbers somewhere as well. Oh, Sorbicol, you're in as well, okay. I've got to do it in this screen. Okay, we're going to be closing it when I go to the next screen. Sorbicol, I'll just double check that we have 23. Yep, so 23 entries. All right, so that's done. We'll finish that one off. So we're now closing the gates, and that's all we're going to actually have at this point in time. So we'll go back out and come back in here. So we've got, I'm just going to change that to 23 as well. I'm going to go to bots, 23. If I don't have both of those set for whatever reason, it doesn't sort of work for some reason. It's going to play 3. We're going to auto-fill. There we go. So we'll play these. So good luck, everyone. Away we go. So we'll just go to play. And hopefully it's all going to work. So we've got a Halloween theme happening. So good luck, everyone. Good luck. So moving down through this list, no one will fall off just yet. First one out is Patrician. Then we've got Lucas back over the other side. Tiger Russ as well has now hit the lead. Is anyone going to fall off just yet? Maybe not. Let's move across through here. So Patricia is still up there as well. A bit hard to sort of see what's going on. So Ulrich seems to be out in front, followed by Lucas and then Justin. Moving through this different loop in here. Let's just go and have a bit of a look to see if there's any danger spots. It should all be pretty safe through here for a little while. There will be people possibly falling off around here, I would guess. So Dem Bonusman is actually now out in front, with Ulrich coming in second, Sithel coming in third, Guy Bellerman coming in fourth, coming back into this little area. So no one's fallen off yet. But now maybe, there we go, back in through this other side, coming into the Shark. Potential danger, maybe. Down they go. So that's CSC has now taken the lead through this different loop. And coming through this one as well. It looks like it's going to be a safe game. I think everyone's going to finish this one. There we go. Is that no one's there yet? So Guy Bellaby has now hit the lead. Don't think we've lost any, have we? Where's there's CSC? Okay, so yeah, Guy Bellaby has hit the lead here, and here comes a few of the others now catching up as well. So Tiger Russ, Ulrich, straight across. This is going to take us into the final, into the area here. So Guy Bellaby looks to be the winner of the first one. CSC has now picked up some more spaces. So Guy Bellaby is number 1. CSC number 2. Garation and Sithel, Tiger, Lucas, Patricia, Dave, Drunken Koala and Ulrich. And then the others will then sort of come back through as well. So nobody died, which is not good. Always like to have a few people actually end up falling off the track. Makes it a bit more fun. There should be a yellow line, which is coming, is it? Is Dem Bonusman? Yeah, here it comes. Are you going to make it in time? I don't know if you will. I think you're too far behind now. So there is going to be one death. Here it comes. Bang, gone. Right. Okay, so Guy Bellaby, congratulations on the first win. So if you have a quick look at the Grand Prix points, so 20 points there, 15 for CSC, 12 for Garation, 10 for Sithel, and 10th place also gets 10 points as well. And so Dem Bonusman is the only one that got 0 points there. So anyway, let's go to the next map and see how he goes. This is a Twisted Elite Kingdom. Yes, I don't know how you got stuck in their loop. Sometimes it just happens. We get started. So it's just going to be zipping through here. It is fairly twisted, isn't it? I might just pick one of the at random. So we've got Wank back, just looking down through here. So in amongst all of the group. This is going to get there's a fair bit of movement through here. So I'll just move across. Tiny Mutant Squid out in front. Luke Sec next. Don't know what that is. I don't like this map actually. I don't like the texture on it. It's not good. Can't really pick things out properly. Again, no danger. Where's all the danger? Drunken Koala out in front by the looks of things. I think we're going to find... Oh, here we go. This will be where there's danger. So we'll just wait here for everyone. I don't think there's any danger up until that point. So we'll wait. So Drunken Koala looks to be the one out in front. if it does have dangerous areas, you actually don't want to be the front runner, because quite often the front runner gets taken out. In fact, the others coming through as well. There's different loops. Actually, Ulrich is the first one down into this next area. That may be Wenkman actually there. Maybe, I'm not sure. If usually when I pick up up one of these, it actually then doesn't sort of act correctly. Your Drunken Koala backing through here. It's picking them up through this bit. Doesn't look dangerous. This one does. Yeah, this will throw people off the map. Dave is the first one through here. Will he make it through? Drunken Koala has made another run. Coming forward. There's Goration. Goration's gone. This is a danger area. Oh, Dave and Drunken Koala have both made it back onto the map. There goes Johnny off. Drunken Koala still making his way through. Still dangerous. Dave has made his way through. There goes a few more. Patricia, Mad Hat, Ravendesk and Luke Sick have all fallen off. Back at the spot in through here. So at the moment we've got the Drunken Koala is pushing up and has won. Dave is coming in second. Maladroid has lost. CSC is out. There goes Sorbicol to get third place. Maladroid will fall off. Maladroid is not a winner. Went back has got in there as well. Yeah, Maladroid's finally fallen off. We've still got a few more on the way. So we've only got potential for Ulrich and Sithel to finish. Here comes the white line. I don't think Ulrich's going to make it. I think Sithel has. Yeah, so Ulrich may make it in time. Yes, you did. Well, there you go. So that was not very many finished that race. If we have a look at the Grand Prix scores. So Guy Bellaby still out in 20 points. Actually, that's not quite right. We've got 24 points there. If I click on points, there we are. So we're at 24 with Drunken Koala now. We've got Dave Flute on 20, Guy Bellaby on 20, 17 for Sithel, 16 there. So that's our sort of top leader group there at this point in time. Let's go to the final map and see who's winning. So Drunken Koala out in front at this point in time. So the bonusman once again in absolute last place. Didn't see that. All right, here we go. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. Still, the numbers aren't big, so most of you can still win, except the bonusman, who has looks like maybe died twice. Who is going to win this? Mad at Ravendesk coming up. Goration there. Goration was in the leader group. Oh, Ben Jackson is out. Mad at Ravendesk is out. They're sort of falling here, I think, and around this area. Trying to just keep a list on who's doing what. The others have all sort of made it through that danger zone. But we've got more cannons on the way. Let's go and follow Goration now through the cannon. And made it into the loop and through. There's a finish line down there. Oh, and straight through. What a run. Nearly made it through. Can be thrown off the edge. They can get through the loops. Need to get past all of this. Bang. Comes a Drunken Koala for the win. Oh, yes. Okay, the Drunken Koala is definitely going to win this now. So that's 2 wins for the Drunken Koala. Thorn Ellerman, Goration, Patricia, Lucas, Luksek. De Bonusman does get some points finally. Ulrich, Sithel, Winkback, and everyone else as well that's left on the map trying to make their way through. Well, I can pretty much say that Drunken Koala has now won the Distant Worlds 2. So congratulations there, Drunken Koala. So what I'll do is we'll do the final things. We'll just go and do the finish the Grand Prix and get the final points, just so you guys can see it. So coming in third place was Guy Bellaby. Second place was Goratian, and coming in first place was the Drunken Koala. If we have a look at the points, 44 points. 24 was the second place. So 20 points ahead. Wow, that's a big win. So massive wins there. Two of the wins for the Drunken Koala. So what I'll get you to do, Drunken Koala, is if you can send me a email at daz@daztactic.com, I can then send you the key. So if you can shoot an email to me, that would be great. Anyway, guys, thanks for participating today. It's always I always enjoy the comments and things as we sort of as we do these live streams and sort of look at the gaming news. I think we could have looked at even more stuff, but we did run out of time there. There's a lot of games coming up in the coming weeks, so it's going to be a really good time for gaming. But I think the big thing is today, it's an oldish game now, it's a year old, but get yourself at 50% off the Keeper RL. It really is a must-have game. It's a Goratian saying, wow, second place, but I wasn't even close to first. No, massive win. So Drunken Koala saying, can you give it to the runner-up instead? I really don't want the game. Oh, okay, you sure? Well, I can. What I tend to do in that case is just keep the key and then just give it away another time. So I think that if it was really close, sorry, Goratian. Hope you don't mind. I think I'll keep the key in that case, if that's all right. Unless you particularly want me to give it to second place, but. It was generally I just keep the key and then give it away another time. But I can do that. Goratian, do you want the key? It was offered. So just let me know, Goratian, if you do want it. That'd be fine. Yeah, that's fine if that's the way it goes. So well, Goratian, if you contact me with your on that email address, we can then get that key across to you. Now that's fine if you wanted to do it that way. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you. Well, I'll be streaming all week, basically, with different games. There's a lot of different games coming up this week. Still want to do one more stream of Elemental, just to try to finish it off, or at least to get to the next, the final battle with that one through there against the AI. But yeah, having a lot of fun with that game. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next week if you're just here for ChatTactic. Otherwise, I'll